What's going on, guys? This is Kaishiro, welcome back. So we are back with another Uncrowned Kings local metagame report video. So we are going to cover and tackle tournament results and tournament reports with decklist reviews over the span of September 30 to October 5. So these are the most latest and fresh decklists that have been tapping over the first week of October with the October regulation ban list that we currently have recently. So it is a very exciting video because we are going to see what are the decks that are tapping on these early stages of October 2023 format. So without further ado, let's start. At first here we have a Sword Soul decklist with Tenyi and Revo Synchron. So this is a very explosive version of Sword Soul. The deck is pretty standard. You have things like the 3 copies of Long Yuan and 3 copies of Taya, I assume. Yeah, if I'm seeing correctly. And also quite a number of Tenyi monsters on the main deck. 3 Vishuddha and 3 Ashuna, I assume, or 2. And 1 Adhara. So this is a very linear decklist of Sword Soul. And also preferred to play the Sword Soul Summit on the main deck. Most Japanese Sword Soul decklist doesn't even play this. And also the Sword Soul branded engine is the most popular out there right now. So it is a very refreshing scenery that we are looking here that Sword Soul Tenyi with Revo Synchron are able to tap. So yeah, moving on, we have Scareclaw with Horus and Tearlaments. So basically Tearlaments, no? So this is a copium mechanism or innovation for the Tearlaments because they have lost the Tearlaments Kashira, copies of Tearlaments Kashira and Agedo and Kelbeck. So they are now using the Scareclaw and also the Horus that can make the XYZ monster of Vampire, the rank 8 XYZ monster that can mill cards for them, using the rank 8 toolbox of Horus, and also plays Malicious and Danger cards. So yeah, this is a very innovative Tearlaments decklist now. So this is a good reference for us to be able to look upon on how players will adapt and innovate the Tearlaments decklist to make it more competitive despite the hits that this deck got from the ban list recently. So we can already tell that the side deck is pretty diverse. We can see Gamma here and Ghost Ogre, and also the Phantasmi and Retaliating Sea. So he is trying to maximize the side deck to answer a variety of matchups on this metagame. So yeah, this is a very interesting side deck here. So yeah, moving on, we have Oasis Yu-Gi-Oh! Local tournament. At first place here we have Vanquish. So Vanquish remains to be a very steady deck. What I mean about steady is this deck doesn't tap in ridiculous numbers every week. It doesn't tap in large numbers every week, yet it still taps and it is very relevant. So it is enough to make a conclusion that Vanquish is a very good deck on the format, because even though it is not that represented that much, it can still tap from here and then. So yeah, this is a very good deck right now for me on the format. Quite a control deck with a very mid-range oriented game. You hunt trap your opponent with this Shifter and Phantasmi, which are very unusual on the main deck of Vanquish, but he made it work. Maybe because Phantasmi is a dark reveal and also Shifter as well. And Shifter can really end the turn of graveyard-centric decks on the format. So yeah, this is a very interesting deck list of Izul. Moving on, we have Altergeist, no? So without the Sinful Spoils, this is the old and classic Altergeist that plays the Small World and the Spellcaster Village. So yeah, I think this is still a very good control deck. I think it can outgrind most of the decks on the format. And even though this deck is low, it can gain traction where if you can control the game, you gain momentum moving on and you overtake the game from there. So yeah, I think this is still a very nice and budget deck right now on the format. Quite underrated and sleeper, but I think it can work right now on the format, especially the format is still unsolved, or there's a lot of questions on the format that we're still going to solve as the format folds on this October. So yeah, I think this is a good deck to start on the new format. And then moving on, we have Ricky's Toys and Hobby Shop Tournament Report. At first here, we have Orcus Horus. So this deck got a lot better from the ban list. I mean, you have things like the Armageddon Knight, and also Horus is not touched by the ban list. So we can already tell that this deck is going to tear it up on this October format, because this deck is solidified as one of the better meta decks on the format right now. This deck can really go second when you can just spam your Horus engines to make huge attack monsters on the side of it, on the field, and also you can use the Orcus monsters of yours as discard fathers, and you gain so much value from discarding those monsters, because Orcus is known for having graveyard centric effects. So yeah, this is a very nice decklist right now on the format. Very interesting. His decklist is playing triple tactics talent at maximum copies, so he doesn't wanna lose going second, and it can be quite beneficial as well on the format where it is quite mid-range oriented. There's a lot of Veilers and even Ogres and Nibiru on the format. So yeah, I think this could work very well on the main deck. And the only interesting thing here is maybe change of heart on the main deck. I really don't rate it that much, but I think it could work when going second. So yeah, very interesting list here. And then moving on, we have another Sword Soul Tenyi. So we can already tell that many people are going to resort on playing their comfort decks when the format is still not solved. Just by looking at our early entries of this metagame report, we already have seen 2 Sword Souls with different approach and different builds. So yeah, I think Sword Soul is one of the decks that you should really invest, because it is a very safe deck. Especially the format is not solved, you can play Sword Soul and gain results, because the deck is pretty much linear when you consider the combos, and it is quite very budget oriented as well right now on the format. So yeah, Sword Soul again once more. And then next we have another Sword Soul, rather Orcus. So yeah, I think it's the decklist from earlier. And then moving on, we have Iloilo Yu-Gi-Oh! Association Casual Tournament. At first place here, we have Victosoro Transcendrake Dino. So Dino as well is one of the decks that are quite evergreen, no? When you say evergreen, it can tap on multiple occasions and different eras or formats. So Dinosaur has been quite underrated for the most part, but it is still a terrifying deck when going first. I mean, it can set up a lot of huge negation monsters like Dolka, Apulusa, Savage, Barone, all of those negation type of monsters paired with the UCT or the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. It is a very strong deck when going first, and the going second of this deck also is not a joke. It can literally devastate boards with the Conductor Tyranno as well. So this is a very versatile deck. You can go first and dominate the game, and you can also go second and OTK your opponent. So yeah, I think those are the traits that deck should have. And then next we have Live Twin. So yeah, this deck is a pure variant, no, without sprite. So yeah, very interesting. This is a very mid-range deck, a very good mid-range deck, underrated one as well. You play a lot of hand traps and you interrupt your opponent when going second, and then you make a minimal board when going first and control the tempo of the game using your Trouble Sunny. So yeah, he played a lot of going second cards on this deck list. I mean, he played triple evenly match and triple forbidden droplet. So he really wants to be more flexible when going second. He has a lot of options to work around to break boards on this Evil Twin. Maybe I think this deck doesn't really create scenarios where it can demolish the board of your opponent using the engine cards only. That's why he incorporated a lot of going second cards on this deck list, like Talents, Droplet, and Evenly Match. And on the side deck, it is only 12, no? It is amazing that he can tap with only 12 side deck cards. And on the side deck, it's pretty much linear on going first. So when he is going first, he's just going to side out the going second cards on the main deck, and are going to be replaced by Solemn Strike and Solemn Judgment and the Barrier. So yeah. And then next we have Draco Slayers, no? So Pendulum deck. It is no surprise that Pendulum Magician are gaining traction recently. I mean, this deck is not touched by the ban list as well. They are very free from the ban list, and the deck will only get better once they have the more Kirin supports on the way. And also, I think this deck is very strong right now. I really rate this deck as one of the top 5 best decks on the format right now. So yeah, I think the side deck is pretty interesting as well. He played Triple Royal Decree. This is a very spicy card on this side deck. This card is very strong against the trap-oriented people of Philippines in our metagame. There's a lot of trap-based players and control players. So this deck, this card is very valuable when going against those control players, and also very nice as well against the Centurion matchup, because when the Centurion cards are on the spell and trap zone, they are treated as continuous traps. So when you flip the Royal Decree against the Centurion matchup, you pretty much win the game from there. So yeah, this is a very genius tech here from Ronel Pendon. And then moving on, we have Orcus Horus, third runner-up from Earl Camara. So this Orcus Horus is very interesting. He played a lot of scrap monsters on the deck with the Scrap Raptor on the deck. So this is a very interesting take on Orcus Horus, because most often than not, they don't play the Scrap Engine here on this list. So this is a very explosive deck when going first, and I really like the fact that he played Forbidden Droplet on the main deck, because you get so much value when you can discard your Orcus monsters on the graveyard. And also Horus as well is used here as a very huge engine on the deck. By just looking at his extra deck, he plays a lot of rank 8 toolbox monsters. We have the Fire King monster of new Fire King structure deck, and the Photon Lord, and the Dingirisu, and the Buzz King. So yeah, he really wants to optimize the rank 8 toolbox shenanigans of Horus on his deck list. And on the side deck, really interesting, Triple Chaos Thunder. So yeah, I think this could work against banishing decks, something like Floowandereeze or something like Rescue Ace. So yeah, this is very unusual here, but I think it's quite effective as well. And then yeah, moving on, we have Indonesia official ranking tournament from Iki Card Shop. At first here we have Rescue Ace. So Rescue Ace Sinful Spoils, it is nothing new, to be honest. This is a very diverse, rather linear decklist of Rescue Ace Sinful Spoils on the format. This is quite considered as the best deck on the format. If you're going to ask many people, they're going to tell you that this deck is the best, because this is the most consistent deck for me right now on the format, on the top of metagame right now. And also, they have only lost one copy of Airlifter. Imagine that, dominating the whole format of July and only losing one Airlifter. I think the Konami is pushing the agenda of selling the Asian English versions of Emergency and other supports of Rescue Ace, along with the Sinful Spoils. So I think, yeah, this deck will be safe for another ban list. So yeah, I think the side deck is very good here. We have seen the relevance of the Super Poly right now. Super Poly is heavily used on the side deck of many people and even main deck, because we now have the Garura, the new fusion monster that we currently have right now. And yeah, it can really devastate some boards on the format, and also very strong against the Centurion, where an instance where your Centurion opponent has Legacia and Primera on the side of the field, you can just use Super Poly to interrupt those plays. So yeah, very strong as well on the format. And then next we have good stuff here with Bestials and Sinful Spoils and Horus and Thunder Dragon and Visas and Adventurer. And yeah, I think it's from the previous ban list because it has Agido and Kelbeck. So we are not going to ponder on it too much. And then next we have Vanquish here. Main deck, Magnamut, very logical as well. And another Vanquish decklist that main decks the Shifter, no? I think Shifter has been quite a staple for Vanquish recently. And one copy of Nibiru and one copy of the Goran could make a lot of sense. Nibiru can be very great against Rescue Ace because Rescue Ace nowadays tends to push for boards rather than just playing it safe. So they are very susceptible against Nibiru. So I think I like this inclusion here on the main deck. And on the side deck, he opted to side deck the copies of There Can Be Only One. So he can just draw this card when going first and control the game. So yeah. And then next we have Tearlaments here. I think it's from the previous ban list. So yeah, we are not going to tackle this deck list. And then moving on, we have Duelist Dewata. At first here we have Centurion Horus with Volcanic Shell, Discard Fathers. I really like this inclusion here from Henry, K.O. Henry. So yeah, you get free Discard Fathers using the Volcanic Shell on this deck. And you don't lose that much of value and hand size when going first using this implementation of Volcanic Shell on the main deck. And also, Horus can definitely fix your bad hand cards when you can just go into Coach King Giant Trainer and fix your hand cards. So yeah, I think it's very underrated that that is a very good feature of Horus where it can fix bad hands on the get-go. I think it's a very insane inclusion on this Horus and Giant Trainer synergy. And then moving on, we have Floowandereeze. So this deck also got better. Floowandereeze now have the second copy of their most important card, arguably, on their main deck, their Mysterious Map, going back to 2 copies. I think this is very huge for the Floowandereeze. Floowandereeze can now play more around hand traps like Ash Blossom, and they are now more consistent, and they are more pesky because we already know that having map on their side of the field is very prominent on the structure and gameplay of Floowandereeze. So yeah, on the side deck only 14 cards, but I really like this side deck. He really doesn't want to lose against back row with the Cosmic Cyclones and Twin Twister. He really respects the Runic matchup. And also, Cosmic Cyclone and Twin Twister can be relatively good against Centurion as well. So, also the Anti-Spell and Waking the Dragon can be very good options when going first. And the Dark Simurg as well, very nice as well against back row matchups. And then next we have, what is this? Kashtira with Infinitrack? Yeah? Infinitrack? No, Gate Guardian, yeah. The new deck as well. Gate Guardian from the TCG exclusive. Now we have the OCG version of Gate Guardian cards. So yeah, this is a very interesting deck. I really don't see how this deck functions. Maybe just capitalizing on the rank 7 shenanigans of the deck with the Kashtira engine. So yeah, this is a very interesting deck here from Bliuda. I think it is worth noting that this deck top, and this is quite budget as well when you consider the fact that you are just running one expensive card on the extra deck with the Jablosis. So yeah, this is very budget. I think it is worth looking for right now. And on the side deck, it is focused on going first. Maybe you just want to establish a Rise Heart Pass and pair it with the Pointer and Judgment. Moving on, we have Ranking Duel at Iki Card Shop once again. We have Rescue Ace, Sinful Spoils. I think it's the same decklist as earlier, if I'm seeing things correctly. Yeah. So, triple Cosmic Cyclone on the side deck. Very good as well against the Runic. Kinda popular right now on the format. Runic is still one of the most popular decks on the format because they have only lost one rivalry and it doesn't even matter that much to them. So yeah, you need to respect the Runic matchup. And the next we have the... yeah, I think it's the same decklist from earlier. And then next we have Drytron here. So this is a very interesting deck right now. We don't see Drytron top every day. Most often than not, this deck is not topping at all. So yeah, it's quite refreshing to see Drytron once more on the metagame. So yeah, the deck is still quite good, no? When you consider the fact that it can establish multiple Omni-Negates and has a decent going second as well, because this deck can really play around a lot of boards on the format right now. And yeah, played Denko Seka and Lava Golem. I really like these inclusions from this player. I think Lava Golem is very insane on Drytron, and Denko Seka as well can be really quite good on a lot of matchups on the format right now. And then next we have Super Heavy Samurai with Earth Good Stuff rather, with Horus. Yeah. So this deck lost one copy of Black Dragon, and it is not that relevant as well. I think 2 copies could work. But yeah, it's a outdated deck list because it has Kelbeck and Agido. And then Manadium. So Manadium, another deck that capitalizes on Calamity Turbo. But yeah, on this deck list, I don't see Calamity. Yeah, very interesting. I think it goes to the root of the Colossus, because he wants to establish something like Barone, SP Little Knight, Dispater, and Colossus on the side of the field. So it is a indirect build from the usual Calamity Turbo of Manadium. So plays evenly match on the main deck. I'm not too sure about that. Maybe he just wants to supplement the going second of the deck. But overall, very interesting deck list here, and quite unusual one. And then moving on, Rique's Toys and Hobby Shop tournament as well. We have another Orcus here. So yeah, I think it's the same deck list from earlier, no? Just a different date. I mean the 14 card extra deck of Orcus. And then the Sword Soul once again. So yeah, side deck copy of Lancea. I think Lancea is a very vital card right now in the format. You really want to respect the Rescue Ace matchup right now using the Lancea. And Lancea is insanely strong against Rescue Ace right now. And then we have Oasis Yu-Gi-Oh! I think it's the same deck as earlier, if I'm going to browse it. So yeah, it's the same deck as earlier. And then moving on, we have Yogyakarta tournament. At first here we have RDA with Bestials. So yeah, another Calamity Turbo deck. I really wonder how the Calamity will be treated on the next ban list, because it is quite a nuisance right now. Many decks are capitalizing on turboing out the Calamity, and it's not what they call this, it's not a question or even a doubt that Calamity is a very strong card right now on the format, because many people capitalizes on it. And one of the best decks right now, Centurion, are able to successfully summon the Calamity on their side of the field easily. So yeah, I think it's a problem card right now in the format. So yeah, I think this deck is very strong right now when going first, but I really don't see how this deck can go second without any problems. That's the only thing that suffocates this deck, I think. But other than that, it is still a pretty solid deck. It can go first and set up the Calamity, of course, and win the game from there. And this once again plays the Royal Decree. So we now have seen the importance of Royal Decree right now on the format. And the next we have Super Heavy Samurai with Tyrions. So yeah, another very good mid-range deck. I mean, you have things like a lot of hand traps here. We have Droll and Lockbird, we have Ghost Ogre, we have Nibiru, we have Ghost Mourner, Ghost Bell. All of these hand traps are very good when going second. And also, when going first, you can establish a board like Barone and IP Masquerena and Apollousa. So yeah, this is a very good mid-range deck right now paired with Tyrions. You have extra negation on your side of the field. And on the side deck, I think it has a decklist error because it has 17 cards. So yeah, I'm not too sure if it is a troll post or something. And next, we have Floowandereeze here once again. So yeah, Floowandereeze are able to do exceptionally well on the first few days of our October format. I mean, the deck is still very valid and viable right now. I really do think that the deck is decently good on the format. And yeah, this deck capitalizes on playing Dark Ruler No More on the main deck. I'm not a fan of Dark Ruler No More right now in the format, but it could work because Floowandereeze has a very subpar going second capability. So yeah. And then moving on, we have, yeah, I think that sums up our tournament results and decklist review for this week. So thank you for watching. If you have extra time, you can drop by on our Facebook page and Crown Kings Local Metagame Report so that you can leave a like and follow this page. So thank you for watching and hit the subscription button if you're not yet subscribed on my YouTube channel, and hit the notification bell if you want to get more updated on my future contents. So see you on the next one. Peace.